Hey babies. I think I might start doing uh, just a few eldercare reports on social media just to keep a few of yous in the loop. We'll see how it works. I don't know. It gets messy and some things are better left unsaid just for the sake of dignity. But I've been in the custom in my conversations with Mama in her pronounced mental decline and this is like loosing something in my own heart. This is to bless her, but it's blessing me too. I tell her, you are blessed and highly favored in heaven, and they can't wait to get you there. And then occasionally I throw in, this is just me letting loose. This is me letting go. And you can go anytime you want. This is just me taking my hands off. Whatever will be, let it go. And I mean, there's a lot of psychological and emotional implications on that for me personally. God's got us. He's got Mama, He's got me. So, but my observation here, this is my eldercare observation that I really want to convey, is this, that she's processing this. I've repeated it several times, and she's taking note that I've got this little ditty that I am laying on her. So it's got her thinking about the afterlife, and she's filtering it through her own perceptions of God, her own Catholic upbringing, and she's touched. She'll smile and beam in her old little cheerful, friendly way. If you all know Florence Emily, that's kind of how she is. But there's also instances where nerves take over. She's been prone to anxiety attacks for a long time. I mean, it's just something that Mama deals with, and it's something that I have to roll with. So there is this ditty that I lay on her. You are blessed and highly favored in heaven, and they can't wait for you to get there. You can go anytime you want. And so she's processing that through her own little filter. And then in an instance of her anxiety, she'll spit back at me, "Oh, what about hell?" And I'm just so aware, not just in Mama, but in general, that when topics of the afterlife come up and the proposition of eternal conscious torment raises its head, that it's really easy to fall back into that dualistic thinking. When you try to lay a blessing on somebody, we qualify, we want conditions on it. You're blessed and highly favored in heaven, and they can't wait for you to get there. That is an eternal reality. That just is. It's not subject to duality, it just is. And so in our minds, we want to fall back and it's like, oh, we better qualify that with a little dualism. See how that works, that double mind, that dualism. Our minds want, when we receive the good news, when the Holy Spirit moves on our heart, when we receive a word from God, we want to attach qualifications to it and make it an if-then equation. The gospel is not an if-then equation. Florence Emily, you are blessed and highly favored in heaven, and they can't wait for you to get there. And you also are blessed and highly favored in heaven, and they can't wait for you to get there either, because we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, the spirits of just men made perfect, the innumerable company of angels. That's an eternal reality, whether you like it or not. So, this is my eldercare observation. This is my observation of our dualistic thinking and what must be surmounted for us just to rest, just to welcome that cloud of witnesses, that grand reception that we're going to have in glory that's available to us now. We are now surrounded by that cloud of witnesses. I mean, it's going to become clearer and clearer as the light gets brighter and brighter, because it's an eternal reality now. When the shadows flee, it's like, oh my gosh, these beautiful babies, these comely ones, they've always been there. cheering us along. Cheering you along. So kind of where I've taken this, as I've rolled with Mama's reactions to my blessing, is I've had to change it a little bit. I've had to recontextualize my blessing. And it's throwing her. I mean, if there's any religious devil operating here, skewing the gospel and provoking reactions and, digging your heels and biting your nails, oh my goodness, so hell. That there is a shift, there is a change in verbiage here when you articulate the blessing outside the religious context. Especially, you got to articulate the gospel outside of religious context, and that kind of sometimes takes people unaware. It comes from left field, and they're like, they don't know how to deal with it, and it gets them. Because you can say it like this: Florence Emily, you're blessed and highly favored at the party, and they can't wait for you to get there. And when you bring the reality that there's a party going on, and that's the kingdom of heaven is a celebration, and it's already going on, and you are exalted and you are delighted, and now, what heart isn't going to melt? You know what I'm saying? We've heard all about heaven and all the protocols and all the pie in the sky and the by and the by. But when you make it real, when you start to talk, bringing it home, like why Jesus in the parables, he brought stuff home with just like tokens of just everyday life. That this is what it's like. It's a party.